Good evening, everyone. How are you all doing, students? Very glad to see you. And I hope you are all doing okay. And welcome back to auditing class. We will be continuing with our chapter number 4, a very lovely chapter full of different standards of auditing. Very conceptual chapter, very important chapter, and uh, you know, easy and fun chapter. So I'm glad to have you all back. I see a lot of familiar names. Please attend regularly. It is for your own benefit, and let's get started. I hope you all have been studying and revising the audit subject. It's very important to do that. All right. So sit upright. Don't lie down on the bed. Sit upright. Keep your phone, notebook, pen properly in hand to make notes, and keep a water bottle, and let's get started. So last lecture we did essay number 505, external confirmations, and we also studied assertions, which was very important because it is going to form a base for you to understand many other things in audit. So we studied the assertions and we studied essay 505. We are going to continue with new essays today. So if you remember, what is the essay number for audit evidence? What is the essay number for audit evidence? Can anyone tell me quickly on the chat box? Essay number for audit evidence. Very good. Tanu has said the first one, 500, essay number 500. Very good. What is the essay number for materiality? Who can tell me quickly? What is the essay number for materiality? Pooja here wins. Absolutely correct. Essay number 320. Pooja is absolutely correct. What is the essay number for planning and performing the audit? What is the essay number that audit should be planned and performed properly? What is the essay number for that? Again, Pooja wins. Pooja is doing fastest finger first. So essay number 300. Very good, Pooja. I'm very happy. What is the essay number for external confirmation? Who can tell? What is the essay number for external confirmation here? The first answer is given by Prajapati Namrata. So great. All right. And okay. Good. Very happy to see all this. So, what is the essay number to identify and assess risk of material misstatement? What is the essay number? Again, Pooja wins essay number 315. Very good. So I'm very happy with the active responses here. And good for all of you who have been able to give answer. Tanu has been giving answer. Nikunj has been giving answer. Pooja, Surinder, every one of you, Mehak. So very good. And this is what shows that you have been revising, you have been retaining what you have studied. So without much further ado, let's start with today's topic. So before we start with the essay number 501, I am going to schedule today 501 we will do and 510 we will do. So before we start this, I have to explain you one concept that will help you to understand the language of this essays properly. So let's start with a concept today. Pay attention, everyone, now. Complete attention in the classroom. So the first concept that I am going to teach you about is opinion. So I taught you that an auditor's opinion can be basically two types, that is unmodified and modified. This much all of you know, right? It can be unmodified and modified. Unmodified means it shows true and fair view. It shows true and fair view. Everything is okay. Sab changa si. Okay, everything is okay. But modified opinion can happen when you are not, the evidence that you have found or the situations that you have seen gives an indication that everything is not okay. And so when you are giving an opinion, your opinion becomes modified opinion. Now, modified opinion can be of three types. This is what I want to let you know today because it is used multiple times in the chapter. So I want you to know the concept. You will study theoretically this concept in module 2. You will study in theory in details. But the concept is mentioned multiple times. So we need to know this beforehand. Don't think of it that right now I'm teaching you any theory that you need to memorize. But this is a concept that you all need to understand. So think of it from understanding perspective. Learning perspective, module 2 जब होगा तब होगा, ठीक है? So modified opinion, okay? So modified opinion can be of three types. Let's say that someone asks me an opinion that how do you like the LVC intermediate class? आपको LVC intermediate के बच्चे और आपको LVC medium की class कैसी लगती है? So someone asks me an opinion. And suppose I say everything is okay, all is okay, everything is proper. That is unmodified opinion. But if I say except some students, everything is okay. Except some, everything else is okay. कुछ बच्चों के अलावा सब अच्छे हैं. अगर मैं ऐसी opinion दूं, if I give that opinion, that is called as qualified opinion. Same way in auditing, except debtors of XYZ amount, except fixed assets of XYZ amount. So you have found something that has misstatement. But you think that uske wajah se, because of that, I should not tell that the whole financial statement is inappropriate. So I say that except XYZ, the rest shows true and fair view. So one of the opinion is qualified opinion, where except something, rest shows true and fair view. Now, if I give an opinion, nahi class to bilkul hi achhi nahi hai, the class is not good, nothing is good. That is called as adverse opinion. That is called as which opinion? Adverse opinion. It means that the misstatements are so pervasive. Do you remember pervasive, students? How many of you remember pervasive? Quickly tell me. ये word मैंने आपको, this word I have explained you in chapter 1 and chapter 2 already. Yes, Kashish has mentioned as a whole. Yes, Tanu, very good. So, affects whole. Good. So, when something affects pervasively, which means multiple items or multiple assertions, and it has an overall impact. So when the misstatements are having pervasive impact, we call it adverse opinion, which means we have to give an opinion that it does not show true and fair view. And the last type of opinion is that suppose that there was an earthquake or there was a fire and everything got burned down, and because of that no books, no records are available, so they are not able to show me anything, and I am also not able to prove that there is any misstatement or there is any problem. So when we are unable to reach an opinion, जब हम opinion तक पहुंच ही नहीं पाते, जब we don't have enough information, enough evidence to reach an opinion, that is what we call as disclaimer of opinion. Till now everyone understands? Till now everyone is clear and everyone understands? So if I have to give an opinion that is other than true and fair view, you have this option called as modified opinion. And in modified, you have three types of opinion: qualified opinion, adverse opinion, and disclaimer of opinion. Okay. Now, this types of opinion is covered in essay number 705, which you will study later. But many times you will see this essay number mentioned in chapter 4 and later on also in chapter 6, 7. Everywhere you'll see this mentioned. What does it mean? Is that this essay number, whenever, if suppose you have got an external confirmation, and in external confirmation it is very clear that there are some misstatements. Okay, there are some misstatements. Your data is saying they have a balance of 2 lakh, you are saying you have a balance of 1 lakh, and like that multiple datas are saying problematic things. So you will modify the opinion as per essay 705. Okay, so modification of opinion. Who takes the decision of modification? Who has to take the decision that opinion needs to be modified? Auditor has to take a decision, obviously, right? And who has to take a decision that whether it should be qualified or whether it should be adverse? कौन ये decision लेगा कि pervasive है कि नहीं है? Who will take the decision whether something is pervasive or not? Again, auditor has to take the decision. Okay. So here qualified opinion is given when either you are able to find a misstatement that is material but not pervasive. It is not so less that I can ignore it, but it is not so big that I will say adverse. So when the misstatement that you have found is material but not pervasive, which opinion you will give? Qualified opinion. So when we have found a misstatement that it is material but not pervasive, which opinion we will give? Qualified opinion. But what if we have found a misstatement that is material and pervasive? Then which opinion we will give? If we have found a misstatement that is both material also and pervasive also, then we will give adverse opinion. But when do we give disclaimer of opinion? When do we give disclaimer of opinion? The disclaimer of opinion is given that when auditor is unable to find misstatement due to some reasons that can be out of the control of the entity also, out of your control also. And because of that, there is an uncertainty. Okay, there is an uncertainty, and this uncertainty is material and pervasive. So if there is a flood and all my books of records got destroyed, or there was a software virus attack because of which my software, all data got erased, what happens because of that? Is data available to verify? Invoices hai available to verify? Is audit trail available to verify? Nothing is there. So in that situation, I am unable to tell whether something is wrong and they are unable to prove that something is right. So both are stuck. And in this situation, which opinion we will give? Disclaimer of opinion. Basically, no opinion. Disclaimer का मतलब क्या होता है? कोई opinion नहीं दे रहे हैं हम. Okay? So disclaimer of opinion. But when can we give disclaimer? Can we give disclaimer when the information not available is only material? जो इंफॉर्मेशन मिली नहीं वो सिर्फ मटेरियल है बट परवेसिव नहीं है. इट इज मटेरियल विच मीन सपोज some land document you didn't get but everything else you got. So you didn't get a land document for 10 crore rupee land, so you think it is material but you think it is not pervasive. Then can we give disclaimer of opinion? Can we give disclaimer of opinion if we didn't find something but it is material but not pervasive? No. Then what opinion do we give if we are unable to find evidence, if we are unable to find, here I just want to change. If you are unable to find evidence which is material but not pervasive. Again, koi bhi cheez material but not pervasive. Anything that is material but not pervasive, which opinion? Qualified. So again, unable to find sufficient appropriate audit evidence, which is material but not pervasive. Can we give adverse opinion if we are unable to find evidence? Can we give adverse opinion if we are unable to find audit evidence, which is material and pervasive? No. Adverse opinion means it is proven. You have sufficient evidence to prove that it is not showing true and fair view. So adverse opinion you cannot give easily. It is difficult for an auditor. And as an auditor, if I give modified opinion, do I have to give justification for the opinion? If I give modified opinion, do I need to give justification? Yes. So you have to make a proper basis for opinion paragraph. If you give any kind of modified opinion, that on what basis, on what grounds you have given a modified opinion, and you have to give reason, you have to give quantity wherever it is possible, that because of data, ऐसे नहीं लिख सकते because of data, no. Because of data of XYZ amount, all this happened, this was the problem. So you have to give whole explanation. Everyone clear? So I wanted to explain you this before we move on to our class today. So this concept is clear. Theory you will study when you study essay number 705 properly. Right now, just conceptually, it should be clear. So which essay tells you about modified opinion? Quickly tell me. Which essay tells you about modified opinion? Quickly write down the number, essay 705. Perfect. Very good. Now let's start with the topic today, essay number 501. Everyone pay attention. Essay 501. So, essay 500 we studied, right? Essay 500 was what? Audit evidence. उसी का थोड़ा सा extension, a little bit extension of essay 500 only we are studying. So, essay 501 is audit evidence for selected items. So, essay 501 is specific considerations for selected items. Okay. Specific considerations for selected items we are studying. So there are 3 items which the ICAI, Auditing and Assurance Board, has chosen that these 3 specific things needs to be audited in a certain way, and you need to follow certain specific considerations when you are auditing these 3 things. Okay. So, hello, I heard some voice. Can everyone please mute themselves? Please ensure that you are muted. Okay. Now, so these 3 specific things, we have to follow a certain structure and we have to ensure. So what happens, this is very specific essay, which means if we don't follow those things, we'll be in violation of essay 501 directly. So usually as an auditor, we decide how much procedure we will perform for what item, yes or no? Usually we decide how much procedure we will perform for which item, whether we will do inquiry, whether we will do inspection, how much inquiry we will do, how much inspection we will do. We decide that. But here we are given 3 specific items for which institute has given guidance to us that how will you approach them. So the 3 items, first I'll just tell you. The first item is inventory. Second item is litigation and claims. And third is segment information. Now, if you have paid attention in previous class, you will know that हम एक item audit करते हैं या item को break down करके audit करते हैं. Do we audit an item or do we break down an item and audit each part? What is that called? What is that called? Let me see. What is that called when we break down each item and check individual part of it? Very good, Kashish. Very good, Gayatri. Very good, Tanu. So we call it assertion. Right or wrong? So here, when this essay has been created, do you think they will give a direct specific consideration for the whole item? No. So here, the specific consideration is given for existence and condition. Here it is given for completeness. And here it is given for presentation and disclosure. What does it mean? Does this essay tell you to audit, how to audit the whole inventory? Is this essay telling you how to audit the whole inventory, how to check valuation, how to check completeness? how to check rights and obligation. No. This essay is specifically telling you how to check what? How to check existence and condition. Yes or no? So this essay will guide me that what considerations I have to keep in mind when I'm checking existence and condition of inventory. What considerations to keep in mind when I'm checking completeness of litigation and claims, and what considerations to keep in mind when I'm checking presentation and disclosure of segment. Okay, we'll start one by one and we'll start with inventory. Let's start with inventory. Pay attention. Okay, let's say that I am auditor of Milky Mist, okay, or DMart. So these kind of, or lifestyle or pantaloons. So what is the common feature in all these brands? Lifestyle, pantaloons, DMart. What is the common feature in all these brands? They have presence all over the country. Yes or no? They have presence all over the country. They have showrooms all across. Massive stock. Very good, Vaishnavi. Huge amount of stock. Suppose I am central statutory auditor. I'm not a branch. I'm not been appointed auditor that you are auditor of Pantaloons branch of Brookfields Mall of Coimbatore. No, I have been appointed as central auditor of Pantaloons. Okay. Now, I have to check existence of the inventory and condition of the inventory. Do you think I will have the responsibility to go and count the stock in various malls and in various pantaloon shops across India? Do you think I'll go and I'll count one t-shirt and one pant and one dupatta and one kurta? Do you think I'll do that? No. So do you think essay will tell us to do that? Think of it logically. Do you think essay will tell us to do that? No. So what essay tells us logically? Think of it very logically. That you can do some things. Okay, I understand that you cannot go and count everything, but I'll tell you what to do. So what does essay say? That if inventory is material, if you think that inventory is a material item, then I will suggest that you attend what is it suggesting me? If I am running a company, is it my responsibility to have internal control system to regularly do physical inventory counting? If I am running the company, is it my job to ensure that inventory count is properly made? Yes. So company already must have some procedure. If they are running such a big business, they will already have some control. So what is essay telling me to do? Very logical. Essay is telling me the company will attend. The company will count regularly. You go and attend it. Is it correct? Logical till now? Okay. What is it telling me? Physical inventory counting to company kari rahi hai. You just go and attend it. So the first point is attend inventory counting. Physical inventory counting. Please go and attend it. Okay. Now, do you think I can just go and attend? No, I need to have some information, right, beforehand. So, before I attend, I will first see what is management's instructions regarding counting. Management's instructions and procedures. So, if I don't have this information and if I just go and attend, will I understand whether they are doing right or wrong? No. So first, I need to have information that what is management's instructions and procedure for recording and controlling the inventory counting. Okay. I have gotten the information. And then I will observe. Okay. And then I will observe other people doing that counting. Okay. They're following the management's instructions. So I'll see how they are doing it. I'll just observe it. Then you will inspect the inventory. What does inspect of inventory mean? Inspect the inventory. What does it mean? What does it mean? Inspect the inventory. It means that if the inventory sheet is showing 100 packets of Maggi, then I will open one box and see whether actually it is having Maggi or it is having Ippy noodles. Not counting. I am doing inspection of the inventory. Am I doing the counting right now? Am I doing the counting? If I am auditor of, let's say, Chennai Silk Mills, it's a very big brand of silk sarees. And if they are saying we have 200 Kanjivaram silk sarees, 300 Banarasi silk sarees, all I can do is open and see that it is not synthetic or it is not polyester. I'm just inspecting that sari bola hai, to uske andar t-shirt nahi hai. I can't do very specific technical analysis. But if it's saying sari, it should not be t-shirt. That much common sense I can have, right? If they're saying that we have Kanjivaram sari of 2 crores, then it should not be t-shirt, right? That much I can inspect. So the third thing you can do when you are attending is inspect the inventory. And then you can perform test counts. What is test counts? If they are saying that each box has 20 Kanjivaram saris and there are 200 boxes, do I need to open all 200 box? No. Count a sample. Yes. I can ask them to open 1 or 2 boxes in front of me and I can see whether one box has 20 Kanjivaram sari or not. Everyone clear? So, yeah, this much is clear. So we will attend the physical inventory counting, and in that, what 4 things we are doing? First, we will see management's instructions and procedures. We'll evaluate whether they seem appropriate. Then we'll observe the count being done. We'll inspect the inventory and we'll perform test counts. How much you want to do, that is left on you. SA is not telling you have to perform 5 test counts or 10 test counts. It depends on the inventory. It depends on the size. It depends on the number of products. So you have to take that decision. Second important thing is you have to perform audit procedure to see that entities' final inventory records are as per actual inventory count results. So basically, you have to see this reconciliation that if actual counting, during actual counting, you came to know that there are 210 Kanjivaram saris, then in the company's records, in the balance sheet, in the inventory register also, it should be 210 Kanjivaram saris. So this we have to see whether entity's final inventory records, it's showing the actual inventory count results or not. Understood? Point is clear? Okay. Suppose I am appointed as auditor today. आज मेरा appointment हुआ है. Today I have been appointed. Okay. And I have been appointed auditor of, let's say, pantaloons only. I don't know why I am remembering pantaloons, but let's say pantaloons, I am appointed the auditor. And today only I'm saying, chalo, chalo, let's go and audit pantaloons. No. Can it happen like that? Can I go, chalo, chalo, I'll go to your inventory counting. I'm very excited. No. There needs to be certain planning that you need to do before you can even attend inventory counting. Okay. So if you are planning to attend an inventory count, what are the things that you should, what are the relevant matters you have to keep in mind before you can even attend. So basically, I need to sit down and have a conversation. So let's say this Kanjivaram saris will take an example. We have taken too much DMart pantaloons. Let's take some new examples. So let's say this Kanjivaram sari house is there, and they buy the silk threads, and then they dye it, and they have looms, and they divide into uh, Kanjivaram real silver border, real gold zari, and normal saris. Let's say they divide it into three parts. Okay. Do I need this information before I go to attend their inventory count? Do you think I need this information? Which means I have to talk. I have to talk to the company. I have to get all the details about their business. So let's imagine I am auditor of a silk sari manufacturer. So the first thing I will ask them, what is the nature of your inventory? What is the nature? That we have a raw material, we have WIP also, we have finished product also. In finished products, we have three types. One is with real gold zari, one is with real silver zari, and one is with normal. Real gold zari we make very limited. Real silver zari is medium, and the most highest quantity is real normal without any real gold or silver. So this what did I understand from this? I understood the nature of inventory. Then the second question I will ask is, okay, you told me about your silk saris. What are the stages of making the silk sari? So what if I assume that they even have silk worms and they make their own thread? But they say, no, 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 we don't have silk worms. We don't run a silkworm farm. We directly buy the silk thread from a silk farm. So you will find lot of silk threads, but they are all yellow in color. We dye them. So we don't buy colored yarns, we buy yellow yarns and we dye them. So what does this give me? What information does this give me? That I will find some undyed silk yarn, I will find some dyes, I will find some dyed yarns stock, then I will find some silk saris that are still being manufactured, and I will find three types of silk saris as finished products. So what did I get to know? I get to know stages of completion of WIP. Okay. So I came to know about how the business is being done, how the product is being manufactured. Okay. Now I will ask them, where all do you have this location of inventory? Is this an important information to ask? Yes. Are you maintaining at only one place, or do you have multiple godowns at multiple places? So how many locations are there on which you are holding this inventory? Okay. So I've gotten this inventory thing. Then I will ask them, how are you maintaining the perpetual inventory system? What is perpetual inventory system? It means that as and when sales happen, automatically the amount is reduced from the godown. अगर सेल हुई है तो ऑटोमेटिकली अमाउंट कम हो जाएगा, क्वांटिटी ऑटोमेटिकली कम हो जाएगी इन्वेंट्री की. सो यू गो टू सुपरमार्केट्स, राइट? सो इफ यू हैव परचेज 2 bags of rice, automatically when sale bill is made, 2 bags of rice are reduced in the inventory. Yes or no? So that is called as perpetual inventory system. Did everyone understand this? Firstly, let me know, please. Yeah. So you will ask them that whether they are maintaining a perpetual inventory system or not. Okay. Okay. So what all have I asked till now? What information I have gotten? I have understood what inventory they have. I have understood how they manufacture it. I've understood where all they keep it. I've understood how they're maintaining the accounting system of it. So we have understood perpetual system. Now I will see what are the risk of material misstatement related to inventory. What do you think are the risks associated with this inventory? What do you think are the risks associated with this inventory? Can anyone tell me? If you are running this kind of business, what do you think are the risks associated? Think about it. The product can be easily damaged. Very good. Spoilage of yarn. Very good. Fluctuation of gold and silver value. Very good, Gayatri. Very good. Especially now, every day it's so volatile. Fluctuation in the price of silk. Valuation can be very tricky. There can be easily accounting mistakes na, regarding valuation. Do you think there can be very high amount of errors in valuation? Or there can be very high amount of possibility of damage of goods, right? So we have to understand risk of material misstatements related to inventory, and accordingly, what are the nature of internal control system? Okay. How are you controlling this? So what is your internal? चूहा कुतर के चला जाएगा मैम. Yes, Divya. Which means if this go down is not kept in healthy condition, properly cleaned regularly, proper ventilation, proper closure, there can be easily spoilage, right? So you have to then, if we understand the risks, we will be able to ask questions about what? If we are able to understand risks related to an inventory, risk of material misstatement, we can ask questions about how do you reduce this inherent risk? So how do you reduce an inherent risk? किसी भी business में, how do you reduce inherent risk? Let me know. In any business, how do you reduce inherent risk to an acceptable level? Very good, Divya. Through internal control system. So what is the second question I'll ask them? After deciding what are the risks, please tell me what is your nature of internal control system. Okay? Then I'll ask them whether you have proper procedures that have proper instructions for physical inventory counting. What I will ask them, do you have any list or an SOP? SOP is standard operating procedure. Do you have any SOP, a formal instruction that you have given to the counting, that how the counting should be done? So give me that. So I will understand the risks. I will ask them what internal controls you have, and I'll ask what procedures are established to give proper instructions for physical inventory counting. Because if these three are found to be weak, when I'm attending inventory count, will I do more test counting or less test counting? If these three are found to be weak, more. Will I be more vigilant when I'm doing the inspection? Yes, I will be more vigilant. Okay. So this all information we need beforehand. SOP means standard operating procedure. Standard operating procedure. It means like an instruction sheet. Okay. So if I'm taking this class, there's a standard operating procedure, right? That this background should be there, right? I have to teach as per the class. Then I should come online before 5-10 minutes so that I am not late. What is that called as SOP? Standard Operating Procedure. Is that clear? Pooja? So if Pooja, you are appointed as supervisor to do the counting, And the management gives you an SOP, which means it will have all the details that how the counting should be done. Okay. So this all detail I have gotten. Till now, what details I have gotten to plan my attendance? To plan my attendance for inventory counting, I have understood the nature of inventory. I have understood the stages of completion. I have understood the location of inventory. I have understood how the inventory system is maintained. I have understood what are the risks regarding this inventory and what are the internal control systems developed and what are the instructions and procedures created for the physical inventory counting. Then the next question I will ask, very obviously, आप कब करने वाले हो counting? If I want to attend, I need to know na when the inventory counting will be done. Will you do it next month? Oh, we are doing it next 2 days. Please come. Then we will not do for another 6 months. So is that an important question to ask? Yes. Timing of physical inventory counting. And after knowing all this information, the last planning I need to do is whether assistance of an expert is needed. After understanding the business and the inventory, I have to take a decision that whether in this kind of business and whether in this kind of inventory, do I need assistance of an expert? Who is this expert? They are called as auditor's expert. So, do I need to take someone who has expertise in Kanjivaram saris, who can touch the silk and know whether it is real silk or fake silk, or who can touch and know whether it is real gold or fake gold, or real silver zari or fake silver zari? Do I need someone like that with me? Who has to take that decision whether you need it or not? It depends on the situation. It depends on materiality. It depends on how much skepticism you have. So an auditor only has to take the decision whether I need an expert to come with me or not. Okay. So do you think it's easy to just attend, or do we need to do a lot of planning before we attend? We need to do a lot of planning. We need to get a lot of information before we just attend. We can't just go and stand there like a fool. We need to be on top. ऐसे होना चाहिए कि आप ही बिजनेस कर रहे हो, ये आप ही ये फैक्ट्री चला रहे हो. ओके, इतनी नॉलेज होनी चाहिए इन्वेंट्री की. So much knowledge should be there as if you are running this business. Okay. That is why it is said that chartered accountants make very good entrepreneurs, because you learn so much about business that you can be very good entrepreneurs also. Okay. So, nature of inventory, stages of completion of WIP, location of inventory, perpetual system, risk, ICS, internal control, proper instructions, timing of physical inventory counting, whether assistance of an expert is needed. Now come to the book, everyone. Now come to the book. What is the full name? SA 501, Audit Evidence, Specific Considerations for Selected Items. पूरा नाम लिखना है एग्जाम में, full name you have to write. Specific Considerations for Selected Items. I think someone asked me a question about to explain perpetual system, right? Can you type the message again if you have still not understood? I missed it. So many messages are there. Yes, Suhaira. So I'll just explain it quickly. Just pay attention. What does perpetual inventory system means? So let's say, Suhaira, you are going. Suhaira is going to DMart for shopping. Okay. She has purchased 10 eggs, 5 packets of Maggi, 2 milk packets. Okay. So now bill has been made and given to Suhaira. Okay. Now behind Suhaira, there is Tanu. And Tanu is telling them that I can't find milk packets. I can't find milk packets. Can you see if it's there? So, will the person see in the system if milk is there, or go check the whole DMart to find milk? Check in the system. And in the system, can they know exactly how much milk packets are there right now in that time? Can they know? Yes. So, what happened? Suppose before Suhaira came, there were 10 milk packets. After Suhaira's bill was made, how many milk packets will show in the system? 8. Which means inventory was updated automatically after sale was done. Yes or no, Suhaira? Inventory was updated as soon as sale was done. Did anyone go and count the 8 milk packets, inform it, and then it was updated in the system? No. As soon as sales are made, the inventory is updated. What is that called, Suhaira? This kind of system is called perpetual inventory system. Is it clear now? Where a system of inventory is continuously forever getting updated. Okay? All right. Good. You have understood? Okay, good. Now come back to essay 501. Audit evidence, specific considerations for selected items. Okay. So here we are going to study 3 things. Here itself is written. Objective of this is to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding existence and condition of inventory, completeness of litigation and claims, presentation and disclosure of segment information. Okay. We have started with the first one. If the inventory is material, if the inventory is not material, then we don't have to do this. So when inventory is material, the auditor shall obtain sufficient evidence regarding existence and condition. Attendance at inventory physical counting, unless impracticable. Evaluate management's instructions and procedures for recording and controlling the results. Observe the performance of count procedures. Inspect and perform test counts. Performing audit procedures over entities' final inventory records to determine whether they accurately reflect actual records. Please mark this answer as important. Please mark this answer as important. How to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding existence and condition of inventory. Okay, this is the question. Everyone with me till now? Okay. This is again something repeated, but come here and see this. Matters relevant to planning the attendance. When you actually go, what you have to do is given in this answer. जब आप actually जाते हो और आप क्या करोगे, वो यहाँ दिया है. जाने से पहले क्या करोगे? So, this is during attendance. And this answer is before attending. Okay. This answer is when you plan to attend, what you do, not during attendance. So matters relevant in planning attendance should include nature of inventory, stages of completion of WIP, risk of material misstatement relating inventory, nature of internal control regarding inventory, whether adequate procedures are expected to be established and proper instructions issued for physical inventory counting, timing of physical inventory counting, whether entity maintains a perpetual inventory system, locations at which inventory is held so that you can decide materiality and risks of different locations, and assistance of an auditor's expert is needed or not. You can learn in this flow also, you can learn in this flow also. This is how I remember. So you can see whatever is comfortable to you. So if I am planning, what do I do? Nature of inventory, stages of completion, location of inventory, perpetual system, what are the risks, what is the internal control, what instructions have been given, when are you doing physical counting, whether I need an expert or not. Okay, this is the main answer. Now, tell me this. Usually, it is expected and it is great if you attend counting on date of financial statements, which means it would be great if we can attend the counting on 31st March. Yes or no? It would be great if company does a counting on 31st March. I can attend it on 31st March and I can tally the amount with the balance sheet and P&L on 31st March. Yes or no? It would be good. It would be easy. But is it possible that sometimes you are not available on that day or something or the other happens, and then you are attending on date other than at the date of financial statements? So suppose the inventory counting is being done by the company on 3rd April. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible completely. So if the inventory counting is done on 3rd April 2026, do you still have to attend it? Do you still have to do it? Yes. But other than the procedures we discussed, you have to do additional procedures. Can anyone tell me what do you think will be those additional procedures? Think logically. Essays are pure logic. Very good, Nikunj. Very, very good. Additional reconciliation of 3 days stock difference. Excellent job. What extra things I'll do? That between 31st March to 3rd April, whatever inventory movement has happened, whether inflow or outflow, I have to ensure that those reconciliation is completed. Okay? What if due to some unforeseen circumstances, it has become impractical to attend physical inventory counting? Suppose there is a war-like situation. Suppose there's some conflict happening. Suppose there was COVID, because of which there is a complete lockdown. Is it possible that time to attend the inventory counting or to do inventory counting during these situations? No. So if it has become completely impractical, what can an auditor do? What can an auditor do? Then we can give them reasonable. We are always giving reasonable assurance only. Can we ever give guarantee? I am doing all this work to give reasonable assurance. So if it becomes completely impractical, you can perform alternate audit procedures. What is alternate audit procedures? You can check inventory register, you can check purchase bills, sale bills, you can check, you can send some external confirmations to the suppliers, you can check inventory register, all these things, vouchers. You can try to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. But if it is not possible, If you are unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence, satisfactory evidence, you are unable to find through alternative audit procedures. What will you do then? आप अटेंड नहीं कर सकते काउंटिंग. आपने ऑल्टरनेटिव ऑडिट प्रोसीजर्स भी ट्राई कर लिए. ओके आपने ऑल्टरनेटिव ऑडिट प्रोसीजर्स भी ट्राई कर लिए, फिर भी सफिशिएंट अप्रोप्रिएट ऑडिट एविडेंस नहीं मिला. अब क्या करोगे? अब क्या बचा? व्हाट कैन यू डू नाउ? You had to attend the counting. Inventory is very material. You could not attend the counting. Lockdown lag gaya. You tried to check the stock through alternative audit procedures. You are still unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. What can you do? Yes, you will give modified opinion. You can see if there is need to give modified opinion as per SA 705. आपने सब ट्राई कर लिया. Another date not possible. Completely impractical. It is not possible when the situation will be better. So everything you have tried, you are not able to find evidence. Then you have to give modified opinion as per SA 705. Okay? Okay. All right. Now let's see the book now. Pay attention. Physical inventory counting at other than date of financial statements. If inventory counting is conducted at a date other than date, then in addition to the procedures required above, perform audit procedures to obtain evidence whether changes in inventory between the count date and the date of financial statements are properly recorded, which you told already this answer. Relevant matters for consideration when designing audit procedures to obtain evidence whether changes in inventory amount between count dates and final records are properly recorded. See their perpetual inventory records are properly adjusted, reliability of entities' perpetual records, and reasons for any significant difference. So if there's any difference between physical count and inventory records, why is there a difference? If you are unable to attend, then go at some other date. But if even other date is not possible, then perform alternative procedures. If still alternative procedures also not possible, then modify the opinion as per SA 705. Okay. Attend the count on balance sheet date. Balance sheet date not possible, go and visit on any other date. If due to some reason you are not able to attend, attend on an alternative date. If alternative date also not possible, it is completely impractical, then perform alternative procedure. If alternative procedure also does not give you sufficient appropriate audit evidence, then modify the opinion. Simple. Everyone clear? Yes, Josh, what question you have?
वेरी गुड इवनिंग मैम. मैम मेरा एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन था जी. मैम जैसे कि सपोज मैं ऑडिटर हूँ एक अल्कोहल शॉप का.
ठीक है.
ठीक है. अब उन लोगों के पास क्या एक मैंडेटरी रहता है जिसमें कि ना उनको फाइनेंशियल ईयर एंड होने से पहले उनको अपना जो स्टॉक होता है उसे पूरा क्लियरेंस करना होता है. लाइक दे हैव
Oh,
टू सेल
I
ऑल
also
द
don't know.
स्टॉक.
Okay.
हाँ. एक्चुअली मैम जहाँ पर जिस फॉर्म में मैं वर्क कर रहा हूँ तो उनके पास क्या अल्कोहल के ऐसे क्लाइंट्स है जिसकी वजह से
Okay.
मुझे नॉलेज है. तो
Okay, good point.
उनको क्या जी. तो उनको क्या मैम फाइनेंशियल ईयर एंड होने से पहले उनको सारा स्टॉक क्लियर करना ही पड़ता है.
Oh,
तो अब
okay. So
मैम
they
अब
can't
एज
carry
एन
forward alcohol stock to next financial
नो मैम
year?
नो मैम
Okay.
नो मैम they can't show the sale for the next financial year. They have to clear as per the rules.
Okay.
हाँ मैम. सो इट्स टफ टू मैम ऐसे टाइम पे एज अ ऑडिटर. हमारे पास जो पहले से एज अ ऑडिटर मेरे पास खुद पे इतना प्रेशर होता है कि अपना खुद का वर्क करने का इतनी ऑडिट्स
Hmm.
होती है. तो ऐसे टाइम पे मैं वहाँ पर एट प्रेजेंट स्टॉक तो नहीं लिख सकता क्योंकि वहाँ पर शॉप पर भी इतना रश होता हो क्राउड होता हो कि वो या तो सेल आउट करेंगे तो वो मुझे स्टॉक दिखाएंगे.
Hmm.
है ना. हम एक जनरल बात कर रहे हैं. तो फिर हम ऐसे टाइम पे हम ऐसे 705 के थ्रू हम फिर वो स्टॉक का जो इन्वेंट्री है फिर उस पर क्लोजिंग स्टॉक हम कभी भी वो क्लियर होता ही नहीं होगा. उसे कैसे कंफर्म देंगे फिर हम
नहीं,
उसे.
ऐसे मत सोचो. इसको ऐसे सोचो जश कि लेट्स से ये आपका जैसे आपका एप्लीकेबल फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग फ्रेमवर्क आपका लॉ है, आपके कंपनी पे ये एप्लीकेबल है कि एज ऑन 31 मार्च वो क्लियर होना चाहिए. आई हैव नॉट हर्ड अबाउट इट बट आई एम जस्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट यू आर सेइंग एंड गिविंग एन आंसर. सो
Okay.
अगर ऐसा कोई रूल है बाय लॉ, देन ऑफ कोर्स इट इज इम्प्रैक्टिकल कि 31 मार्च को अटेंडेंस हो सके, राइट? और तो
Yes, ma'am.
उन्होंने, कंपनी ने कब लास्ट काउंटिंग की है, मैं उस डेट को जाकर अटेंड कर सकती हूँ. तो आप अगर ऐसा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रन कर रहे हैं तो आपका खुद का तो कोई इंटरनल कंट्रोल पॉलिसी होगा ना. बात ये नहीं है कि
Hmm.
मुझे 31 मार्च का स्टॉक कंफर्म करना है. मुझे क्या कंफर्म करना है?
Hmm.
एग्जिस्टेंस एंड कंडीशन कंफर्म करनी है. आपका इंटरनल कंट्रोल सिस्टम कंफर्म करना है. अगर आपके 31 मार्च के बैलेंस शीट में जीरो स्टॉक शो हो रहा है तो जीरो ही है स्टॉक. तो मैं क्या चेक कर
Hmm.
सकती हूँ? मैं सिर्फ ये चेक कर सकती हूँ कि ड्यूरिंग द ईयर और एज ऑन एनी गिवन डेट आप मुझे लेकर जाइए, क्योंकि ऑडिटर 31 मार्च के बाद अटेंड नहीं होता. कंपनीज में कब अटेंड हो जाता है? प्रीवियस एजीएम में अपॉइंट हो जाता है, फिर 5 साल तक मेरी अपॉइंटमेंट रहती है. तो आप मुझे साल में कभी भी, आप भी क्लियरेंस करेंगे उससे पहले आपके पास एक नंबर होना चाहिए ना कि हमें इतने अमाउंट का क्लियरेंस करना है. तो आप भी मार्च शुरू
Hmm.
होने से पहले एक नंबर लेंगे कि इतने का हमें मार्च में क्लियरेंस करना है. तो आप जब भी वो एक्टिविटी करें आप मुझे उसका हिस्सा बनाएं. दैट इज द ओनली कंडीशन. मैं ये नहीं
अच्छा.
बोलूंगी कि आपको ये एक्टिविटी कब करनी है, कि आपको इसी डेट पे करनी है, पर आप जब भी करेंगे ये एक्टिविटी आपको मुझे उसका हिस्सा बनाना है. ओके.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
ओके. शैल आई कंटिन्यू नाउ? ओके. सो impractical, see, impractical does not mean inconvenient. Impractical does not mean inconvenient. Impractical is something like COVID, like war, like a conflict area where it is completely not practical. It does not mean बस से ट्रैवल करके गांव तक जाना है तो कौन जाएगा, बहुत इम्प्रैक्टिकल है बस में ट्रैवल करना. आई हैव टू गो एंड टेक अ बस to that village where they have factory. I can't travel in bus and all. That inconvenience is not equal to impractical. So as an auditor, the matter of general inconvenience is not sufficient to support a decision by auditor that attendance is impractical. Okay. So difficulty, time, or cost involved is not in itself a valid basis to omit a procedure. Just because there is time involved, cost involved, there's a lot of difficulty involved, it does not mean that you should not do something that is important to do when there is no alternative procedure or evidence available. So even if it's time taking, even if it is something that you don't enjoy, don't like, you have to do it. Okay. Where attendance is impractical, you can perform alternative audit procedures like inspection of documentation, like subsequent sale of inventory items, or purchase prior to physical counting, all these other documentation. This you don't have to memorize, okay, just for your understanding. Now, this much is clear. We will move to the next topic. How many of you understand job work? How many of you understand job work? How many of you don't understand? Okay, first write down your names if you don't understand, then I'll explain you job work, then I'll come to the topic. If you don't understand, write no. Write no. That's completely okay. कोई शर्म की बात नहीं है. It's completely okay. नहीं पता तो नहीं पता. It's okay. No, ma'am. Okay. Okay, let's understand job work. Okay. Let's say I am manufacturing sari. Okay. Like this, a sari is there. Okay. And on sari, there is a border. And on that border, you need to stick diamond stones by hand. So there are flowers, and on flowers, you have to stick diamond stones. So my job, मेरे यहाँ तो सारी machine है. In my company, all machines are there for manufacturing. Okay. I don't want to employ laborers for just doing sticking the stonework, because I get this order sometimes only to make such saris which need stonework. So I have sent it to another company which does work on behalf of others. So they have a labor setup, and those laborers do lot of different work. They do embroidery, they do stone sticking, they do packaging, they do a lot of external outsourced work for other people. So is it possible that on 31st March, some of my stock, which I own, which I have not sold, is with a third party who is doing this work for me? Is it possible? On 20th March, I manufactured 5,000 saris. Those 5,000 saris have gone to, let's say, ABC Limited. They have gone to ABC Limited, and ABC Limited is holding my stock. Have I sold that stock of 5,000 saris? Has it been sold? No. So, isko kehte hain inventory held by third party. What is this called? Inventory held by third party. And this activity, it's called as job work. Okay. When you are giving a part of your process to someone else, you're outsourcing it to someone else and they are doing work for you. That's called as job work. You will study about this in income tax when you're studying TDS. Okay. So on job work, there are certain TDS percentages that you have to deduct. Okay. In costing also, you will study cost management. So if I am auditor of a company, that has some inventory with third party, what do you think I can do? If inventory under custody of third party, what do you think are my options? What do you think I can do? Give me some examples. What do you think I can do? Can anyone tell me? One point. Think about it. Think about it. If inventory is with third party, what do you think I can do? What all do you think I can do? What are the options available? Go to the third party and check. Okay. Very good, Gayatri. And what else? Very good, Pooja. External confirmation I can use. Go to the third party and check. External confirmation I can check. What else? What other things I can do? Tell me. Inspection of what? Inspection of bills. Very good. Transportation. Transportation. Warehouse bills. Job work bills. Bill of supply. Yes. All these I can do. I can ask them also to send me a report. I can ask them also to send me a report. It is called as service auditor's report. This is a new concept. You don't know about it. You will study in detail in CA final, SA 40402. So, service auditor means this ABC Limited is also a company. It might also be getting audited, yes or no? This ABC might itself be getting audited, yes or no? They might also have their own internal control system, yes or no? So I can ask them to send me a report about their internal control system. That is service auditor's report. Okay. On adequacy of internal control. So come see the book now and mark this as important. This is asked as a direct question. Very commonly asked as direct question. When inventory under the custody and control of third party, what will the auditor do? When inventory is custody and control, the auditor can obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence by requesting a confirmation regarding quantity and condition. You can just ask for confirmation, or you can perform other audit procedures. What other audit procedures? You can check the inspection of documents like warehouse receipts or bills or outward register or transportation bills. Proof that your inventory has been sent to them. Okay. You can request for confirmation from other parties when inventory has been pledged as collateral. What is pledged as collateral? Which means you have given it to someone in exchange for some loan. Then attending or arranging for another auditor to attend the physical counting of inventory. या तो खुद चले जाओ जब उसकी काउंटिंग हो रही हो, या किसी और ऑडिटर को अगर वो किसी दूसरे शहर में है, you can arrange for other auditor to attend the physical counting. So either you can go or you can ask other auditor to go. And obtaining another auditor's report or service auditor's report on adequacy of third parties' internal control for ensuring that inventory is properly counted and adequately safeguarded. So I can't attend your counting, but I can ask about a report on your internal control system so that I can decide whether your company will properly keep the inventory or not. So this is an important question. What can we do when inventory is under custody and control of third party? I can request for confirmation about quantity and condition of the inventory, or I can perform other audit procedures. What other audit procedures? These are just examples. There can be 100 other audit procedures. I can do the inspection of all the transportation and warehouse bills. I can request confirmation from third party if my inventory has been given as collateral. I can attend myself, or I can arrange another auditor to attend the physical counting at the third party, or I can ask the third party to send me their auditor's report or service auditor's report about whether their internal control system can be trusted or not. Is everyone clear? Very important question, very commonly asked question. You should remember the whole answer properly. Okay, that's it. JK Exports is a manufacturer having its own production capacity and also gets job work done through various job workers. The auditor of JK Exports considers that inventory held with job workers as material. What can we do? That's it. Same answer. Okay. Let's go to litigation and claims now. So inventory is completed. How do we verify litigation and claims? This one is smaller now. Litigation and complaints, claims, which assertion we had to see? Do you remember? Litigation and claims, which assertion we are going to get audit procedures for? Completeness. Very good. How to check the completeness of litigation and claims? So as an auditor, my job is that how do I ensure that whether all the legal cases on the company and claims of the company are properly shown. Now, why this point has been taken by ICAI and put in the standard? Kuch to logic hoga, some logic. Okay. Some logic is there. So why? What is special about litigation? Can someone tell me from accounting perspective? As an accountant, socho. Think like an accountant. What is special about legal cases? What is their unique feature? What is special about litigations? Legal cases on the company, court cases. You can raise your hand. Does anyone want, to raise the hand? think from accounting perspective. Yes, Pooja. Yes, Pooja, you can give the answer.
Ma'am, it is on future events. It is depending upon future events.
Yes, उसके
It
वजह
is
से अकाउंट्स में क्या प्रॉब्लम आती है?
it is a contingent liability. Like
Very good. Perfect. Thank you, Pooja. Thank you. The okay. No, I didn't mute it. Got automatically muted. Okay. So what is special about litigation and claims? Firstly, there can be 10 cases going on a company, but is it possible that it has no effect on P&L and balance sheet? Is it possible? There can be 10 cases going on me, and it's possible that there is no double entry for it because right now the case is still going on in the court. So, who has to take the decision to show it properly? Management. They have to be honest and they have to show in contingent liability notes to balance sheet. Yes or no? It's completely dependent on them. So, if they are expecting themselves to win the case, if they think that case is very strong, and if the management believes we are going to win the case, do you think they will recognize it as contingent liability? If the management is absolutely sure and their judgment is that we are going to win this case, we have won everything before, and this case also we are going to win, do you think management will show it as contingent liability? So, is this a matter of estimates? Is this a matter of estimates? Is this a matter of judgment? Is it possible that you have received some notice and the case has just started? The case has just started 1 month back and the management has not shown it as contingent liability. Is it possible? So the most important assertion where there can be a problem is which assertion? Whether all the legal cases and claims against the company are properly shown or not. Okay? And that is why, as an auditor, this becomes a special area of consideration. That is why it becomes a special area of consideration. Okay? So, litigation and claims, we will check completeness. To check the completeness, Institute SA has given us very specific points. It has told us first, inquiry with management plus others, including in-house legal counsel. So what is the first thing I can do? I can go and talk to management. I can ask them questions that what are the cases that are currently going against the company? What are the claims that have been made against the company? And I'll discuss this with management. Others also, if I want to discuss with TCWG or the legal department, I can discuss and ask questions. So the first thing auditor has to do is inquiry, which means in your audit program, there should be a question about litigation. The second thing I can do is, what happens when a notice or when a case is done on a company? They discuss it in the meeting. Yes or no? अगर कोई लीगल नोटिस आएगा मुझे तो सारे डायरेक्टर्स मिलके बैठ के डिस्कस करेंगे. If a notice comes, will all directors call a meeting and discuss what to do next? So the second way to know the litigation against the company is reviewing minutes of the meeting plus entities correspondence with external legal counsel. Okay. Reviewing minutes of the meeting plus I will go through any conversations, any emails, any letters that have been exchanged between the company and your external lawyer. And the last thing I can do is, suppose you have reviewed minutes of the meeting, zero legal discussion. You have done inquiry and they're saying there is no legal case on us. But when you see P&L, you see legal expenses have been done of 10 lakh rupees. So you will ask, कोई case नहीं है company पे. If there is no case, why are you spending 10 lakh rupees on a lawyer? So the third thing to know and check completeness, legal expenses account and analyze it. So very specific 3 points. Inquiry with management and others with in-house legal counsel, reviewing minutes of the meeting and any correspondence. This specifically you have to do any meetings with TCWG. Any meeting with TCWG. And entities correspondence with external legal counsel and legal expenses paid. So all these things you need to do. Okay. Now let's say that auditor has assessed a risk of material misstatement regarding some litigation and claims. Okay. If you have identified something that is making you a little worried, then what can you do? You can seek direct communication. We can seek direct communication with entities legal counsel. You can seek direct communication. You can send them a letter of inquiry. Okay. But do you think on us there is confidentiality clause? On chartered accountants, is there confidentiality clause for our clients? On chartered accountants, is there confidentiality clause for our clients? Can I take my client's name in the class when I am giving you examples? Can I take my client's name? Can I tell you who my clients are? Can I tell you what purchases they are making, from whom they are making purchase, what rate they are paying? Can I give you all this information? Same way, lawyers are also professionals. So, like there are laws and professional ethics on me to not give information about my client, same way, there is a confidentiality, there can be confidentiality between a lawyer and a client. Do you understand this? First, do you understand it? So, is it possible that the external counsel might not reply to me? Is that possible that they might not reply to me? Yeah, okay. But I can still ask. If they don't reply, that's okay. I can ask them to give me a list of cases that they have, and I can ask them that what do you think will be the outcome of these cases? Where can there be a difference? So management is saying we will win the case, but what if lawyer says we are going to lose their case? So if you think there might be a difference between the assessment of outcome between the lawyer and the management, you can ask them for details. Okay. Now, in very, very difficult circumstance where you are unable to get any other source or any other evidence, and you think that I don't need to meet and discuss with the counsel. Okay. I want to meet and discuss with the counsel. Do you think I can go and meet easily? Do you think I can go and meet the management? Do you think I can meet people outside the entity easily in general? Do you think as an auditor, I can meet the third parties associated with entity easily? Okay. So if due to any reason, you feel like you want to meet the legal counsel, okay? What reasons can be? The reasons can be that there is you think that there is significant risk. You think the matter is very complex. You want to sit and understand it. And you think there is a disagreement between management and the council. In these situations, you feel like you want to meet and discuss. Do you need management's permission to meet them? First, tell me this. Do you think management can refuse you? Yes. But what if management agrees but tells that one of my representative will attend the meeting and sit with you? You can't meet the lawyer alone. I can allow you to have a meeting with the lawyer, but my representative will be in attendance. Is that okay? Can I accept this condition? Can I accept this condition? The management says you can meet my lawyer, but my representative will be in attendance. Yes. The essay says if the management is saying they can give this condition. Management has a right to give this condition and we can arrange the meeting. Are we investigating? Are we some CID? No. We can do things in the presence of management. Not a problem. We only need to obtain sufficient evidence. Do I need to obtain forensic evidence? क्या मैं forensic evidence ढूंढ रही हूँ जो कोर्ट में डालना है? No. I need to obtain sufficient evidence. If in that meeting I feel I have found sufficient evidence, give unmodified. If you don't feel you have gotten sufficient evidence, see if you can give modified opinion. Okay. So come back to the topic. If auditor assesses a risk of material misstatement regarding litigation or claims, communicate with entities, external legal counsel. So you can seek direct communication. If law or regulation prohibits the entity's legal counsel to communicate directly, then you have to perform alternative audit procedures. If it is considered unlikely that entity's legal counsel will respond, for example, if professional body to which they belong prohibits response, the auditor can seek direct communication through a letter of specific inquiry, which means you can ask them some specific question that give me a list of litigation or give me where available management's assessment of outcome of each specified litigation and claims and its estimates on financial implications. Request from entities legal counsel confirm the reasonableness of management's assessments and provide auditor with further information if the list is considered incomplete or incorrect. So instead of sending them a general letter, I can specifically tell them, this is the list. Can you confirm these are the cases? Or I can tell them, this is the specific management is thinking they will win. Do you agree they will win this case? Or if they will not, how much loss or how much financial penalty we might have to pay? Can you give an estimate? So all these things I can ask them in specific, okay? In certain circumstances, the auditor may judge that it is necessary to meet. When can he do so? When you think it is significant risk, when the matter is complex, and when there is a disagreement between management and legal entity. Ordinarily, such meetings requires management's permission and are to be held with a representative of management in attendance. If management refuses to give auditor permission to communicate or meet with entities and external legal counsel, or the entity's legal counsel refuses to respond or is prohibited from responding, an auditor is unable to obtain sufficient evidence by performing alternative procedures, what can we do? Modify the opinion as per SE 705. मैनेजमेंट आपको बात नहीं करनी दे रही, मिलने नहीं दे रही, मैनेजमेंट अलाउ कर रही है बट लीगल काउंसिल नहीं मिल रहा या रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर रहा और ऑल्टरनेटिव प्रोसीजर से आपको एविडेंस नहीं मिल रहा, तो आप एट द एंड क्या करेंगे? मॉडिफाई. मैनेजमेंट रिफ्यूजेस, एंटिटी काउंसिल रिफ्यूजेस, alternative procedures are not giving you evidence. What can you do? modify the opinion as per SA 705. Everyone clear? Okay. So we are done with litigation and claims. इसमें कौन से important, which questions are important? This point, how to check the completeness, inquiry, MOM, review legal expenses. And second is this part regarding the meeting with the legal counsel. Okay. We'll take a 10 minutes break here and come back. 10 minutes break now. All right, students, let's restart. Quickly let me know that you are all back. You can hear me, you can see me, and we can continue. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. So there were three special considerations in SA 501. The third one was segment information. We are done with the first two, that is inventory. We are done with litigation and claims. Now we are on the third one, that is segment information. It's a very small topic. You will study more about this in your accounting standards also. So segment information. What does segment information means? It means that there can be different types of products and services in an entity, and its operations can be in different geographical locations. So for example, if I am running a car manufacturing company, I can have a car manufacturing segment and I can also have a repairing segment in my business. So I will have two different um, businesses within the same business, right? Or I am having running a business and I have multiple factories across India. So that is called as segment information, in which a single business can have multiple products or they can be operating from multiple geographical locations. So let's say I am running A Limited and I am manufacturing dresses, kurtas, and I'm manufacturing jeans, and there's a t-shirt also. Okay, so these three different products I'm manufacturing. But now A Limited is only one company. So suppose I have paid administrative salary, and the salary I have paid, let's say 50,000 per month. Now, how will this information and how will this cost be divided between these three products when you are arriving at costing? So you might have studied a little bit about this in cost management, or you will study this. But segment information becomes important when there are many different types of products, different in the same entity, or the operations are from different geographical location, and you have to divide the cost between these different areas. And that is why it becomes segment information. So as an auditor, you have to see that whether the segment information is properly presented and disclosed. So which one are we studying? Have you studied AS 17 already, students? Can you let me know? Have you studied AS 17? Okay. As of now, you'll just understand the concept. Then you'll study, when you study that in detail, you'll understand. So presentation and disclosure. So here, which assertion we are focusing on? Only presentation and disclosure. Okay. So as an auditor, we have to obtain evidence that segment information is disclosed as per AFRF. So as per AS 17, if AS 17 is applicable, you should do it as per AS 17. For insurance companies, there are different insurance products. Na? Fire insurance is different, right? Medical insurance is different. Life insurance is different. So for insurance companies, Insurance Act and IRDA regulations have their own structure that how to do this segment information. So the segment information should be presented and disclosed as per the AFRF. So as an auditor, what can I do? I can obtain an understanding of the methods used by the management and whether such methods are correct as per AFRF and testing the application of such methods. So here I will just ask management, how did you do the segment information? And I will test whether that segment information is as per AFRF, and I will see first what their methods are and I'll check whether they have been applied correctly or not. And then performing analytical procedures or other procedures as are necessary. These are other procedures. It means that if jeans is having 2 crore sales and admin cost is coming only 5 lakh rupees. Do you think it appears to be normal? Do you think it appears to be normal? If jeans is having 2 crore sales, let's say 20 crores. Now does it appear normal? Okay. So this is called as analysis. It means there might be some mistake they have done when dividing the common administrative cost between three products. Is it possible that some mistake has happened? Yes or no? Or there is some problem in their method? So that is called as other procedures. So you can use your own brain and do the analysis whether the presentation appears to be correct. So what two things you can do? You can obtain an understanding of the methods used by the management, whether they are as per AFRF and how the methods are being actually applied. And second, you can do analytical or other procedures to see whether they appear to be presented properly or not. What is auditor's responsibility? You have to take in relation to financial statement as a whole. Auditor is not required to perform audit procedures that would be necessary to express an opinion on segment information presented on standalone basis, which means am I giving opinion on jeans or am I giving opinion on t-shirt? Am I giving opinion on each segment? First tell me this. Am I giving opinion on each segment? Or am I giving overall opinion on A Limited only? Am I giving opinion on each segment? Overall. So as an auditor, my responsibility is regarding overall and not individual segments. Is that clear? But will I check presentation and disclosure of each segment? Whether overall the segments are properly presented and disclosed? Yes. Okay. How to understand the methods used by the management? So they have given some examples. Some 4 examples are given. First, you will see how the sales, transfers, and charges between the segments and elimination of inter-segment amount. What does this mean? Let's say kurta department has sent some raw material to jeans department. So when kurta department is making their balance sheet and jeans department is making their balance sheet, will they show transfer of goods with each other? First tell me this. Will they show transfer of goods between each other when individual department is making their balance sheet? Individual department. Kurta department has to show how much profit they are making. Jeans department has to show how much profit they are making for internal purposes. But when A Limited's audit report is made, can you show kurta department, jeans department stock with each other? No, because they are one entity. वो एक ही है. Okay? So, how is sales, transfers and charges accounted between segments and how it is eliminated when you are doing the consolidated balance sheet? Then you can do comparisons with budgets and forecasts. You can check allocation of assets and cost amongst the segments, like how do you allocate? So if there is 50,000 rupees on admin, do you divide it 33, 33, 34? Or do you divide it, let's say 20, 60, 20? How do you divide a cost? So that understanding you need to obtain from the management. How are they dividing the cost? And whether they are consistency with previous periods. ऐसा तो नहीं है पिछले साल segment को कैसे दिखाया और अगले साल बदल दिया. No. There should be consistency between last year how it was shown and current year how it is shown. So what are 4 questions I can ask to management? That how are the transfers between segments adjusted? How are the segments performing in comparison to the budget and the forecast? How are you allocating the common assets and common cost between these 3 segments? And how was it done last year and whether you are following the same method or not? Understood what questions we are asking? See, you don't have to look at the answer. What questions are we asking? There is a company manufacturing 3 products. So what questions I am asking A Limited? How are you managing the transfers between individual segments? How are they performing compared to their budgets and their forecast? How do you allocate common cost and common assets between these 3? And are you using the same method you used last year? Everyone clear? Everyone clear? In this, the main answer is this one. Understanding methods used by management. Here we are finished with essay 501. We have completed essay 501. Okay. Now we are starting with essay 510. It's a small essay. It won't take too much time. Essay 510. We have already finished essay 505. So 500 done, 501 done, 505 done. Now we are doing 510. Okay, pay attention. So how many of you have seen an audit report in real life? How many of you have seen an audit report in real life? Can anyone tell me if you have seen? Okay, not seen. Yes, ma'am, seen. Yes, ma'am, seen. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Most of you have seen. If you have not seen, today you have homework that you will Google all the public limited companies whose shares are listed. Their audit reports are publicly available on their website for everyone to see. Okay. Anyone can see them. All the big companies which are listed, you can see their audit reports publicly available. You are learning to write an audit report. See what you are actually learning. Okay. Just go and see. Now, those who have not seen, usually what happens that let's say I have been appointed auditor of Green Pastries Limited. Okay. I've been appointed their auditor for 2024-25 financial year. Okay. Now, when I'm auditing 2024-25, previous year 2023-24, there was, so this year I am the auditor. Let's say Mr. Don is the auditor, and last year Miss Sherlock was the auditor. Okay. Last year Miss Sherlock was the auditor, and this year Mr. Don is auditor. Now, when Mr. Don starts auditing, he sees that there is debtors opening balance. Yes or no? There will be some opening balance as on 1/4/2024. Yes or no? There will be some opening balance. And this opening balance will be closing balance on 31/3/2024. Yes or no? Who checked the closing balance? Who checked the closing balance of 31/3/2024? Who checked the closing balance? What is the name of the auditor? Who checked the last closing balance? Miss Sherlock. Yes. And now who has to give opinion on 2024-25? Who has to give opinion? Mr. Don. Which means I don't have to just check 31/3/2025, but I have to check from this date to this date everything, yes or no? Which means I also have to check opening balances, whether they are correct or not. Does it mean that last year's mistakes can be carried forward in current year if it was not found? Is it possible? अगर मिस शर्लॉक ने कोई मिस्टेक्स ढूंढी नहीं या कोई मिस्टेक रह गई, मिस शर्लॉक was not able to find some problems, can it be carried forward to current year? Okay. Second point I'll ask you. Let's say that in 2023-24 and 2024-25, inventory is showing. Okay. And last year inventory was 2 crores. This year it's 2.5 crores. Seems to be reasonable. Seems to be okay. Not very, abnormal fluctuation. Seems like a normal increase. But what if I tell you last year they used FIFO method This year they used LIFO method. Now is this information comparable? Now can you say if it is correct, not correct? No. So opening balances or last year's closing balances also play a role in current year. Everyone understood that much? Last year's closing balances also have a role in current year. So SA 510, SA 510 initial audit engagements, opening balances. Initial audit engagements, opening balances. What is initial audit engagement? It means it refers to an engagement where financial statements of prior period were either not audited or financial statements of prior period were audited by a predecessor auditor. It means I am auditing it for the first time. जब मुझे पहली बार किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का ऑडिट दिया जाता है, if I have been given audit of an entity for the first time, which essay I have to follow? Essay 510, which means I have to check opening balances. Initial audit engagement means first audit engagement. It means either the prior period was not audited at all or it was audited by another auditor. In both these situations, which essay do I have to follow? Essay 510, initial audit engagement, which means it is the first time I'm auditing this entity and I have to find sufficient appropriate audit evidences regarding the opening balances and whether they are reliable or not. Predecessor auditor means an auditor from a different audit firm who was replaced by me. Okay. Predecessor auditor means someone who was from a different audit firm for prior period and who has been replaced by the current auditor. That is a predecessor auditor. Now, what is the objective of this essay? ये essay मुझसे क्या करवाना चाहता है? What is the objective? What is the objective? Firstly, as an auditor, I have to obtain, with respect to opening balances, I have to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. What evidence I have to find? I have to find evidence that opening balances, whether opening balances contain any misstatement, that can materially affect current year's financial statements. To check opening balances, whether they contain any misstatements that can affect current year's financial statement. And second objective is to check accounting policies. To check whether accounting policies are first appropriate, consistent, if any changes, whether disclosed. So two things I have to check as per this essay. First, whether the opening balances contain any misstatement or not that can affect current year's financial statement, and whether the accounting policy, what accounting policy? Like this, whether accounting policy is appropriate, whether it is consistent, and if it is changed, whether it is properly disclosed. So as an auditor, these are the two main reasons or two main objectives of this essay: initial audit engagement, opening balances. Now, how to obtain this evidence? Okay. Yeah. Mark this as the most important answer. All this I have finished. This is important. This can come directly in exam. Short note. What is initial audit engagement? So this is initial audit engagement. This is the objective. How does the auditor obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence? So to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence, auditor has to see closing balance correctly brought forward and whether any adjustments are disclosed in current years. Do you know accounting standard? Prior period items. How to adjust an account prior period items. Anyone here who knows the AS number? Very good, Divya. So prior period items are covered in AS5. You will study that if you have not. So as an auditor, I have to check whether previous year opening balance, closing balances have been correctly brought forward. And if there were any adjustments, they were done as per the standards. Okay. They are properly adjusted and disclosed in the P&L. Second, whether opening balances reflect the correct accounting policies. Pehle to, my job is to see this 2 crore is correctly brought forward. Second, I have to see that the accounting policy is correct. Okay. And then few procedures I can do. Perusing the copies of audited financial statement. Perusing means going through. You tell me very logically, students, if previous year was audited, if I am appointed this year, what is the first thing I will ask the client? Please show me the audit report of last year. I want to go through it. Yes or no? If I have been appointed for the first time in the company, what is the first thing I'll ask? Please show me last year's audit report. I want to go through last year's audit report. So will you go through the audit report of last year? Tell me. Will you see if they have given any kind of modified opinion? What if the previous auditor has given some observations, some modified opinion, some details, some problems that have happened? So if you want to do initial audit engagement properly, what will you do? Perusing means going through copies of previous year, prior period financial statements. Evaluating whether audit procedures performed in current year provide evidence regarding opening balances. So for example, if I'm checking, so let's say there is fixed asset like machinery. Okay. So cost value as on 31/3/2024. How do you check this, students? If I have to check value of machinery is correct or not, how do I check it? If I want to check valuation, original bill I can ask, yes or no? Original bill. And then I can do what? Each year depreciation I can check. And then I can reach current year's value, yes or no? So by checking current years, am I checking previous year automatically or do I have to do separate procedure? By checking current year balance, by checking this, am I automatically checking previous years also? In that only it will be covered? Yes or no? Or do I have to specially do other separate procedures? No. So that is called as auditor has to see whether audit procedures performed in current period can provide evidence regarding opening balance automatically. So for fixed assets, automatically can I get the information by checking current year? Or do I have to do separate audit procedures for opening balance? Do I have to do separate audit procedures for opening balance, students? No. Third, some things may require specific audit procedures regarding opening balance, like inventory. By checking current year's closing balance, will I automatically check the opening balance? No. I might have to do some extra procedures. I might have to specifically check the opening balance by checking last year's inventory register and all. Yes or no? If I'm checking data's opening balance, that also I can check specifically by checking the ledgers. Okay. That's it. So what is the question? That I want to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding opening balances. Okay. I want to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding opening balance. How can I obtain it? Let's write it without seeing. You also don't see the book. How do I obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding opening balance? First, I have to see opening balance have been correctly brought forward in current year, right? Opening balance has been correctly brought forward in current year. Next, we have to see accounting policies are appropriate in opening balance. And third is, I can do three things. Peruse prior period audit reports, go through prior period audit report. Second, perform procedures for current year that can give evidence for opening balance, or you can perform specific audit procedure regarding opening balance. Can you remember now? I have written it. Same like me, you should do the exercise. Read it. Then without seeing, try to write it. So auditor has to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding opening balance. You can check opening balances have been correctly brought forward in the current year. Then accounting policies are currently appropriately used in opening balance. Peruse the prior period audit report. See whether performing procedures in current year can give evidence regarding opening balance, and see if any specific audit procedures regarding needed to be done regarding opening balance. This is the most important answer of this whole essay. इस पूरे ऐसे में यही सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट आंसर है. दिस इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट आंसर. Everyone clear? Can I move ahead? Quickly tell me yes, no. Okay, then be responsive. Okay. Now, if auditor obtains evidence that kuch gadbad hai, if auditor obtains evidence that there is opening balance has some misstatements that can affect current period, then you have to perform additional audit procedures. If you conclude that misstatement exists in current period, then communicate the misstatement to management and TCWG. Okay, these are some general points. How much audit procedure to perform regarding opening balance? How much audit procedure? Nature and extent of audit procedures regarding opening balances depends on what accounting policies are being followed, what kind of account balance transactions and disclosures are there, what kind of risks are there, how significant is accounting balance regarding current period, and whether prior period was audited, and if so, whether predecessor gave modified opinion. What is this answer? It's simple. क्या बोल रहा है? That opening balance, how much do I check it? कितना check करना है? How much time I have to give? How many people I have to employ? How to take the decision that how much do I check the opening balance? So it depends on what accounting policy, forget accounting policies. What kind of item it is. Is it a fixed asset? Is it a debtor? What is the amount of balance? How much risk is there? So what do you think has more risk? Fixed asset like machinery or unsecured loan? You tell me logically. Which has more risk of material misstatement, unsecured loan or machinery? Tell me quickly. Which account balance has more risk of material misstatement, unsecured loan or machinery? Unsecured loan, unsecured loan, unsecured loan. So where will I put more time to check account opening balance properly? Where will I put more time? Loans, simple. So if I have to take a decision that where do I have to put more time to check opening balance, I have to see what kind of balance and transaction it is. I have to see that whether it has more risk of material misstatement, whether it is significant or not, and whether prior period financial statements were audited and if any modified opinion was given. So if I tell you that predecessor auditor gave a modified opinion, will we check the opening balances more correctly? If auditor gave a modified opinion, will we check it more thoroughly? Yes. Will I do more procedures? Yes. If accounting policies followed by the company are very consistent and all people in their industry use the same accounting policy, will I do more or less procedures? And if I come to know that the accounting policy used by my company is changed 3 times in past 5 years and they are using a very unique policy, will I do more or less? So what is this question? किससे पता चलता है कि ज्यादा काम करना है कि काम करना है? How will we know whether I have to do more work or less work? So what are those factors on which my work is dependent? What accounting policies are used? What is the nature? How much risk is there? How much is the significance of opening balances and whether prior period were audited and if any modified opinion was given. Finished? Done? Okay. Now tell me this. You have to give me logically answers. Now I am going to ask you some questions. You have to give me logical answers. Let's say auditor has performed all the procedures. Now regarding opening balances, auditor is unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Which opinion will he give? Maybe last year was unaudited. They don't have proper records. So you are unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Which opinions can you give? No, in modified, which opinion? You have to give now specific. In modified, which opinions you can give? Which options are there? Unable to obtain. Very mixed answers. Unable to obtain sufficient. It is conclusion. Conclusion hai unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. You have to express disclaimer of opinion or qualified opinion, depending whether it is material and pervasive or material. Do you remember now? Do you remember now? So if regarding opening balances, you are unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence, and if it is affecting the current year, you can either give disclaimer of opinion or qualified opinion. What if you find that it contains material misstatement? Then which opinion can you give? What if you come to know that opening balances contain material misstatement? Then which opinion can you give? Qualified or adverse, depending whether it is material only or it is material and pervasive. You don't have to give one, you can give options. Because you don't know na whether it is pervasive or not. Did I tell you whether it is pervasive? मैंने बताया आपको ये pervasive है कि नहीं है? Did I tell you? No. So if it is not clear, you have to give two answers. Okay? Okay. Next, if you find that there was some modification in predecessor audit report and still unmodified, still not unmodified, one second, I'll change the word, still uncorrected and affects current year. What can auditor do? Modification in predecessor audit report, still uncorrected and affects current year. Predecessor auditor means previous auditor, Suhaira. Predecessor, previous. Current auditor means newly appointed auditor. So if there is modification in predecessor auditor report, which opinion can I give? And it still remains uncorrected. It still remains uncorrected. So it depends on how much it is. So I don't know exactly. I can just modify as per SA 705. Okay. Everyone clear? But can I modify? Because of previous year mistakes, can current year be modified? If there are mistakes in previous year opening, closing balances, can current year still be modified? Tell me quickly. There was some modification. Modification means what? Some modified opinion was given by previous auditor. It is still not corrected. It is still affecting the current year. Can I modify current year opinion because of that? Maybe yes. Depends on how material it is. Okay. Now, accounting policy. Not consistently applied. Not consistently applied. And change not recorded properly. Can I modify the opinion because of this? If accounting policy was not consistently applied and the changes were not properly presented and disclosed, can I modify the opinion? Yes. You can give qualified or adverse opinion. Okay? You can give qualified or adverse opinion. Everyone clear till now? Again, I'll repeat. If when you are trying to check opening balances, you were not able to find some evidence, unable to find evidence, you can give disclaimer of opinion or qualified. If opening balances contain some material misstatement which is affecting current year, you can give qualified or adverse. If there was some modification of opinion by predecessor auditor and it is still uncorrected and relevant in current year financial statements, then you can modify as per SA 705. If accounting policy is not consistently applied and the change is not properly recorded and disclosed, you can give qualified and adverse opinion. Please remember this for MCQs and case studies, okay? See, this part we studied. Pay attention now to the book. The auditor shall obtain sufficient appropriate evidence whether accounting policies reflected in opening balances have been consistently applied and whether changes are properly accounted and presented and disclosed. If the auditor concludes that accounting policies are not consistently applied or there is a change which is not properly disclosed, you can give a qualified opinion or adverse opinion. I wrote this only in this small format. Okay, same thing. So this whole page I have finished. If the auditor is unable to obtain sufficient evidence, then they can give qualified or disclaimer. If the auditor concludes that opening balances contain a misstatement that affects the current period and it is not properly accounted and disclosed, then qualified or adverse. Again, this part I have finished here. Okay. So again, that paragraph I have written in flowchart format. Okay. So this whole page is finished. Yes or no? Quickly done. Very easy, right? Now this is just basic some reading. We'll do some basic reading and then we'll be done with essay 510. If prior period's financial statement were audited by predecessor auditor, the auditor can obtain evidence by perusing the copies. This is simple. You can go through it. The auditor can place reliance on closing balance contained in preceding period, except when during performance of audit periods, a possibility of misstatement is indicated. Now, this is an important concept, not for theory, but it is important concept. What does it say? If previous year was audited by another auditor, Miss Sherlock audited it, can I rely on work of another auditor without being very suspicious? Please tell me that. If previous year was audited by some other auditor, will I go with a lot of doubt? Will I start my audit with a lot of doubt or with basic reasonable doubt only? No, I will not start my audit with lot of doubt. So I can start my audit with normal procedures that I need to perform without going in too much detail. But if while performing current year procedures, I find some problems in opening balances, then I have to go in detail. So what does this simple line say? It says, I am allowed to place reliance. I am allowed to rely on closing balances that were done by previous auditor. Except when you find possibility of misstatements, then you have to start becoming very aggressive. Okay. So now this page is just some examples. We'll just do it quickly. How to obtain evidence for current assets and liabilities. So if you're checking collection of payment of accounts payable or accounts receivable, the current period can provide evidence regarding existence, obligation, valuation at the beginning of the period. It means if there was some debtors, you can check whether payment was received or not. That will automatically give you evidence that that is a genuine debtor, that is a correct opening balance. In case of inventory, current year procedures provide little evidence. Therefore, additional audit procedures are needed, which means you have to do current physical count and do reconciliation to opening inventory. You have to check procedure for valuation of opening inventory, and you have to do gross profit and cutoff. What does this mean? Do you remember this point I told you? This point. Whether audit procedures performed in current period can give you evidence or whether you have to do specific audit procedures. Now tell me, for debtors and creditors, do I need to do specific audit procedure or can current period procedures itself can confirm? Quickly tell me. For debtors and creditors, while doing current year verification, can I come to know about reliability of opening balance? So if I'm checking current year money received by debtors, can it give me assurance that opening balances were correct? Current period is sufficient. But when I'm checking inventory opening balance, can current year procedures be enough or I have to specifically check opening balance of inventory? Specific. So this is the question. So for debtors and creditors, current year procedures are enough. Current year procedures can be enough. But in case of inventory, current year procedures are not sufficient. You have to specifically attend the inventory and do the reconciliation, do the valuation, do the gross profit cutoff. You have to do specific procedures. For non-current assets and liabilities, like plant, property and equipment, I gave you an example. Which example did I give you? Which example did I give you? Machinery. Do you remember? Depreciation. So when you are checking plant, machinery, investment, long term, some evidence you can get by just checking accounting records of current year. Sometimes you might have to get confirmation from third parties. So tell me, is this anything to specifically memorize? Is this a specific memorization? No, this is just for understanding. So what are the main points? Let's quickly go through essay 510. First, tell me, what is initial audit engagement if the prior period was unaudited or it was audited by a predecessor auditor? सो बेसिकली जब मैं पहली बार ऑडिट कर रही हूँ, या तो पिछले साल किसी और ने ऑडिट किया है, या तो पिछले साल ऑडिट ही नहीं हुआ. सो व्हेन आई एम ऑडिटिंग फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, दैट इज इनिशियल ऑडिट एंगेजमेंट. Now, initial audit engagement has two objectives: whether opening balances contain material misstatement that can affect current year, or whether accounting policies are appropriate. How to obtain evidence regarding opening balances? See whether the current opening balances have been correctly brought forward. Opening balances are showing appropriate accounting policy. Whether auditor can go through previous year audit report, and whether current year audit procedures can get evidence, or you have to do specific audit procedures to obtain evidence regarding opening balance. This whole thing is completed, and here this small point: if you are unable to obtain evidence regarding opening balance, disclaimer or qualified. If the opening balances contain material misstatement, qualified or adverse. If there were modification in predecessor audit report and still uncorrected, modify. And if accounting policy not consistently applied or changed but not properly recorded, then qualified and adverse. We are done with essay number 510. Everyone clear? We are finished with today essay number 501 and 510. Okay. I'll show you a few questions as usual. Yeah. See this question. Pachranga International Limited is manufacturer of pickles, ginger garlic paste, jams, etc., and have its plant at Jaipur. Being in food industry, the company is facing many litigations in various courts across India. Auditors of SPV and company want to identify such litigation and claims involving company which may give rise to risk of material misstatement. Guide the auditor how to proceed. Which question is this? Essay 501. Which point in Essay 501? Litigation and claims. How to check the completeness? Inquiry from management, minutes of the meeting, legal expenses review. Do you remember? Then if you want to extend the question, if suppose it's asked for just 2-3 marks, you can stop here. But suppose it's asked for 4 marks or 5 marks, you can give additional points, general other points, that if auditor assesses a risk of material misstatement, auditor has to perform other procedures. He can ask direct communication with external legal counsel. If management refuses to give permission or is prohibited and auditor is unable to obtain, then you can modify the opinion as per 705. Why this point was given an answer? Because here it is missing that it may give rise to risk of material misstatement. So if you think that there is risk of material misstatement, then you can communicate with external counsel. But if management does not give you permission or external counsel does not respond and you are unable to obtain evidence by performing alternative procedures, then you can modify the opinion as per 705. So like this, questions can come in exam. What is the objective of auditor with respect to opening balances? So what question is this? Which essay it is? First you have to identify essay 510. What are the objectives? That the opening balances contain any misstatement or appropriate accounting policies are reflected, have been consistently applied, or any changes are properly accounted, presented and disclosed. Done. Simple question. The newly appointed auditor of BTN Limited wants to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence whether opening balances contain misstatements that affect current period. What audit procedure to perform? Which question, which answer will come? Which audit procedure? What answer will come? This answer. Correctly brought forward. Application of appropriate accounting policy. Perusing copies. Even whether audit procedures performed in current period can provide evidence for opening balance. Performing specific audit procedures to obtain audit evidence. Okay. Done. Let's do 1 or 2 more questions. C Limited is dealing in trading of electronic goods. Huge inventory, 60% approximately of the company is lying on consignment under custody of third party. CAS, the auditor of the company, wants to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding existence and condition of inventory lying on consignment. Thus, he requested and obtained confirmation from third party as to quantities and condition. However, it's raised doubts about the integrity and objectivity of the third party. Which of the following other procedures can be performed by CAS to obtain inventory information? What extra can I do? Attend third party's physical counting, arrange for another auditor to attend counting, inspect warehouse receipts. What all can I do? D, all can be done. Very good. These are MCQs are little, this is just to revise mostly because these are mostly theory questions, okay? The auditor shall design audit procedures in order to identify litigation and claims involving the company which may give rise to risk of material misstatement, including inquiry, including in-house legal counsel, reviewing minutes of the meeting, reviewing expense account, all of the above. Which one? Again, D. Okay. If auditor is unable to obtain sufficient evidence regarding opening balances, which opinion can be given? If auditor is unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence, which opinion can be given? C. Very good. Okay. So we are done for the day. We have completed 2 good essays today. We'll meet you in the next class. If you have any questions, I'm waiting here. Else we can conclude it. Yes, Josh?
मैम एक्चुअली मैं थोड़ा ना कंफ्यूज रहता हूँ, जैसे कि आपने जब बोला था ना कि एक क्वेश्चन में आप अपने ओपिनियन बताइए ऐसे के थ्रू की उसमें क्या है, तो मैम वैसे मुझे क्या सारा चीज एक्सप्लेन हो जाता है, मतलब सब चीज मुझे समझ में आ जाता है, बट जब वो आंसर देने की बारी आती है, मतलब करेक्ट लाइन या फिर करेक्ट वर्ड्स उसको क्या चूज करना चाहिए, मैम दैट टाइम मैं ब्लैंक हो जाता हूँ, लाइक मुझे नहीं आता फिर समझ में, तो इसलिए मुझे बता दो।
It means, Josh, so you have a problem that many students have, that they become blank. They understand, but when they see a question, they become blank, right? So,
यस मैम।
so for students like you, the only way things can work is not just understanding. You have to do almost writing everything again and again. For you, just reading and listening will not retain in your head to process it. You will have to do lot of writing practice, mock tests, and subject yourself to timely. So abhi jaise aap start karo, theek hai? So firstly, without looking, did you see what I did? After see the question, read it, and then don't look it and write it. This first stage is practice. Second stage is that you go through the questions in the book. Okay, MCQ specifically go in the book, and then you give yourself 10 seconds. Start with 30 seconds and then train yourself for 20 seconds and 10 seconds. So the only way you will be able to operate is when you give practice to your brain to do it. So someone like you will have to do a lot of exam practice, which means खुद आंसर छुपा छुपा के ही आपको रीडिंग करनी पड़ेगी. आंसर देखकर रीडिंग या राइटिंग नहीं करनी है. Understood? So you have to make your brain process an answer faster. And for that, you have to train yourself that I can't see the answer. Initially, you will take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and slowly you will start taking lesser time. But you'll have to train by seeing and, by training yourself to not see the answer and write the answer regularly. Okay? And do
ओके मैम।
lot of case studies instead of direct questions. So, for example, instead of doing a lot of practice of these questions, right? Direct questions, you have to do more practice of case studies and MCQs. If you practice this more, this automatically will become better. Okay? ये अपने आप बेहतर हो जाएगा. आपको प्रैक्टिस ज्यादा इसकी करनी है. ओके?
केस स्टडीज की। ओके मैम, थैंक यू मैम।
Yes, Pooja.
Ma'am, my question is, if auditor gives a disclaimer of opinion, then audit fees will be affected or adverse opinion,
No,
ma'am?
no. Fees is
Ma'am, but
decided before the start of audit. Audit fees start audit के शुरू होने से पहले डिसाइड होती है, इसलिए अफेक्ट नहीं हो सकती ओपिनियन से. इनफैक्ट ये अलाउड नहीं है एज पर प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स. कि ओपिनियन के बेसिस पे हमारी फीस अफेक्ट हो. इट इज एक्चुअली मिसकंडक्ट.
But ma'am, in disclaimer, auditor is not giving any opinion.
बट मैंने डिसीजन लेने के लिए कि ओपिनियन देने के लिए मेरे पास कुछ है नहीं, काम तो किया ना. आप एविडेंस, आप इस नतीजे तक पहुंचे कि परवेजिवनेस है और कुछ नहीं कर सकते. ये ओपिनियन मैंने साइन किया ना उसके ऊपर कि नहीं ये चीजें अवेलेबल. मैंने अपना टाइम दिया.
ओके मैम, एक और, जैसे ओपनिंग बैलेंसेस के अंदर अगर प्रीडिसेसर ऑडिटर ने ऑलरेडी मतलब मॉडिफाई ओपिनियन दिया है, सपोज क्वालिफाइड दिया है, तो क्या हम भी क्वालिफाइड ही देंगे या
नहीं,
मतलब या फिर परवेसिव दिया, वो डिस्क्लेमर दिया
हम
है?
ये चेक करेंगे कि उसने हम ये चेक करेंगे कि उसने किस रीजन से को मॉडिफाइड ओपिनियन दी. अगर वो रीजन अभी भी रेक्टिफाई नहीं हुआ है और वो करंट ईयर को इफेक्ट करता है तो हमारी ओपिनियन पे फर्क पड़ेगा. पर अगर जिस रीजन के वजह से उन्होंने दिया था वो मैनेजमेंट ने सुधार कर लिया है तो हमें फिर उस हिसाब से ओपिनियन देने की जरूरत नहीं है.
मीन्स मैम कि मान लो प्रीडिसेसर ऑडिटर ने एडवर्स ओपिनियन दिया है, तो हमें भी
सपोज
मतलब
उसने एडवर्स ओपिनियन इसलिए दिया कि लास्ट ईयर उन्होंने कंटिंजेंट लायबिलिटीज ही नहीं शो की बैलेंस शीट में, इसलिए उसने एडवर्स दे दिया. अब इस साल उन्होंने कंटिंजेंट लायबिलिटी शो कर रखी है तो मैं दूंगी एडवर्स.
नो.
तो आपको ये देखना है किस रीजन से दिया है
तो
एडवर्स.
करंट ईयर को कैसे अफेक्ट कर रहा है उसके हिसाब से देना पड़ेगा.
एग्जैक्टली.
ओके, थैंक यू मैम.
Okay, can we end the class now? Okay.
Recording stopped.
Technical team, we can end the class now. Bye bye, good night everyone. See you in the next class.